The sheriff stopped when he heard it, not the creak of wind through mesquite, not the thump of his boots on dry ground. A song, carried soft, like it didn't need to reach anyone, like it was already known. He moved slowly around the edge of the well. His hand fell to the pistol at his hip, but not for drawing, just resting there, like a habit, like grief. The girl sat with her legs dangling in the air, heels not touching stone. Her back was to him. Her dress was dull blue, too clean for dust. Her braid hung straight down like it had never known wind. She sang low, and he knew the words, not because they were common. They weren't. They were hers, his wife's. He spoke once. "Where'd you hear that?" She didn't turn. "I kept singing. Each word is soft as cotton lint. I said, 'Where'd you learn that song?'" Still nothing. He stepped closer. His boots scraped the dirt. She didn't flinch. The wind shifted. He caught her voice full. "Lay me down in winter wheat." His stomach turned. "Cover my eyes. Let the field sleep." He reached for her shoulder. It was bare and warm. She turned. Her eyes were brown like her mama's, but hollow. Wrong. She blinked at him. "That's your song," he said. She just looked. "Who taught you that?" "You did." "I never sang that." "You were there." "Where?" She shrugged. He crouched in front of her. Her hands were folded in her lap like she was waiting on something holy, or done with something terrible. "Who are you?" "I was waiting for you." His mouth went dry. "You've been here a long time." "Long enough." "Where's your people?" She tilted her head. "You don't remember." He looked around. No horses, no wagon ruts, no prints. The well hadn't been used in years. It was filled in last spring after the drought dried it to bone. "Is that where you came from?" She looked over her shoulder, down the well. He stood, hand now full on the grip of his gun. "I asked you something." She kept looking down. "Girl, it's not deep anymore." "What isn't?" "The well." He looked. There was no rope, no pulley, no sound. She stood. Her feet didn't make a sound. "Let's go," he said. "You're coming with me." She nodded. No protest. He kept an eye on her all the way back. She never asked where they were going. She sat in his truck with her knees tucked to her chest, said nothing on the ride, not one question. When they reached his house, the old wood creaked under her step like it always had for his wife. He hated how quiet the place went once they walked in. No dog, no music, just the echo of someone long gone. "Are you hungry?" She shook her head. "You got a name." She blinked at him. "Don't need one." "Everybody's got one." She glanced at the piano in the corner. He hadn't touched it in 2 years, not since she vanished. "You used to play that," the girl said. "I didn't." "Yes, you did. You used to sit there while she sang." His throat burned. "You don't know what you're talking about." "She played it too." He didn't answer. She moved to the keys, ran her fingers along the dust. "I wouldn't," he said. She pressed one note. Software. It trembled. "Stop." She pulled her hand back. "You left it open." He turned away. He poured coffee he didn't want. She stood behind him, quiet. "Where's your folks?" He asked again. "You'll find 'em." "When?" "When you remember." He turned. "I don't play games." She walked into the back room, his wife's room. He followed fast. "You don't go in there." But she was already standing at the dresser. She opened the second drawer, the one he hadn't touched, pulled out a photograph, black and white, edges torn. She held it up. It was his wife, pregnant. He froze. "I never saw that." "Yes, you did." "That's not real." She laid it on the bed like it belonged there. That night he couldn't sleep. The girl sat on the porch swing, humming. Not loud, just enough. He watched her through the screen. The same notes, the same pauses. His wife used to hum that while washing dishes. Used to hum it when she was worried or hiding something. He stepped outside. She looked up. "Did she sing it for you too?" He nodded. "She sang it for me when I was cold." "When was that?" "She thought I was asleep." He sat on the step, lit a cigarette, didn't smoke it. "You know what happened to her?" "She didn't fall." He turned. "What?" "You said she fell, but she didn't." He stood. His voice is sharp now. "That's not your business." "She said you'd come back to the well." His hands shook. He dropped the cigarette. "She said I'd find you there." "How would you know that?" She looked at him. Long. Too long. She said the song would bring you. The next morning he went back to the well. The stones were newer than he remembered. Be careful, like hands had shaped them with meaning. He dropped to his knees, brushed off dirt, listened. Nothing. He pried a stone loose. The hole beneath was black and still. Another stone, then another. It took hours. When the opening was wide enough, he stood over it and listened. Nothing. He lowered a flashlight. It flickered. Died. He stared longer. A sound came. Low. A hum. Not the wind. He pulled back, breath gone, turned to find her standing behind him. You hear it too? He nodded. It's not just me, she said. He looked back down. Who's in there? She didn't answer. I buried this well. I filled it myself. You tried. She stepped closer. Don't, he warned. She didn't stop. She looked down, whispered the first line of the song. The wind changed. Something moaned below. He dropped the flashlight. It fell, spinning light across the whetstone. When it hit bottom, the beam froze on something white. Not bone. Clothes. A dress. A woman's hand. Palm up. He staggered back. She kept staring. It's not just memory, she said. It's waiting. He grabbed her wrist. You're coming with me. Now. She didn't resist. He walked fast, dragged her behind, but her eyes stayed on the well, and her lips were still moving, humming that same soft song. Word for word. They didn't speak the whole ride back. She watched the road. He looked in the mirror. When they got home, she asked, Do you want to remember now? He didn't answer. She stood in the doorway of his wife's room. I opened the drawer again. This time there was no photo, just a dress. Tiny. Worn, folded neatly. She picked it up. Smell it. She made this for me. He shook his head. She didn't have a child. The girl looked up. You just didn't want her to. He sat down, heavy. She was pregnant? The girl nodded. He covered his face. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. She moved closer. She sang to me before you came. He looked at her. What are you? She sat beside him. Just what's left. The silence held. She took his hand. Software warm. He didn't pull away. In the dark, she sang again. Same words, same tune. But this time he joined in. Quiet. Off key. Like memories returning from under the stones. The sheriff opened the door. She stepped in like she knew the floorboards. He tossed his keys on the table. Have you ever been here? She looked around. It smells the same. What's that mean? She didn't answer. I just walked through the front room slowly. Eyes on the mantel, the photo, the worn armrest, the long dead vase. You said you didn't have a name. I don't. Well, I ain't calling you girl all week. You won't have to. He followed her into the kitchen. She pulled a chair out and sat, crossed her arms on the table like she'd been told to wait there before. You want something? Eggs. He paused. You eat eggs. She nodded. She made 'em with onions, fried dark. He took a step back. Who? She tilted her head. He cracked 2 eggs into the pan. You dream that? No. He stared at the yolks. I watched them spread like eyes. You have a family? You are. I ain't. She said nothing. Just watched the stove. He turned. Are you hungry or not? Starving. She ate quietly, cleaned the plate. Didn't say thank you. He poured himself coffee and leaned on the counter. You slept last night? She shook her head. Why not? I was waiting. For what? For the tape. He blinked. What tape? You know. No, I don't. She wiped her mouth with the back of her hand. Hand. The one she used to sing on. His fingers twitched. You mean the cassette? She nodded. He stayed quiet. You said you never heard her sing, she said. I didn't say that. You said you didn't sing with her. He drank the coffee. It was cold. You said you didn't remember. I said it's been a long time. But the tape's still in the drawer. He stared. She stood. I walked past him, into the back hallway, toward the old sewing room. He followed. She stopped at the small desk. Bottom drawer pulled it, dug past thread, needles, pins, lifted the plastic tape like it hadn't sat there 12 years. You remember now, she asked. He took it from her. Hold it like it might burn him. No one knew this was here. I did. He looked up. How? She turned to the record player, the old one with the built-in deck. Dusty, but intact. She stood there, waiting. He slid the tape in. It clicked. He pressed play. The recording was faint. Her voice wavered. She was young on the tape. Before the lines, before the storms, before she stopped looking him in the eye. Lay me down in winter wheat. The girl sat cross-legged on the floor. Cover my eyes, let the fields sleep. Her lips moved in time, every note, every breath. His chest tightened. Keep my song in the wells so deep. She stopped singing aloud, but her lips kept moving. She whispered the rest. He stopped the tape. You rehearsed that? She looked up. No. You memorize it. No. You're just, what, echoing. I lived it. He stared. That's not my voice, she said. He frowned. What? It's not my voice on the tape. I know that. She stood. But it's my song. You just said it ain't your voice. It's not. She walked out of the room. He stood in the yard after dusk. Smoke from his cigarette drifted nowhere. The house behind him creaked like old bones. She stepped out barefoot. You keep watch every night? He didn't answer. Are you always this quiet? He glanced over. What are you? You know. No, I don't. She looked up at the sky. No stars. Just dark. She said you'd ask. Don't speak for her. She said you'd try not to see. He turned away. She sang because you stopped talking. He clenched his jaw. I never stopped talking. You just started lying. He faced her. That's enough. She didn't move. You buried her song. I buried her body. She blinked. Did you? His hand twitched. Do you remember well? I filled it. Why? It was dry. Was it? He didn't speak. She used to hum after supper. When the house went quiet, you'd be in the chair, pretending to read, but you were listening. He swallowed. She'd go to the porch, sit alone, hum that. Same tune. You weren't there. I was. You didn't exist. I did. He stared at her. She just didn't tell you yet. That night, he sat in the living room, tape still in his hand. The girl was asleep on the couch, or faking it. He opened the tape, pulled the strip out, unspooled, inch by inch. He held it to the light. I saw nothing, just brown shadow. He stuffed it back in, snapped it shut, pressed play again. The voice came soft, tired, warmer. Come back through where the rivers bend. He looked over. The girl was staring at him. You used to sit right there. I know. You hated the song. I didn't. You said it sounded like something dying. He didn't answer. But you stayed for every note. He turned off the tape. She made that for you, she said. Number she made it for herself. The girl stood. She made it for me too. He stared at her. You keep saying things that don't make sense. They will. When? When you listen. To what? To her. To me. To what you already know. I don't know anything. You do. He stood. She walked over. She said you'd break. He shook his head. You're not real. She leaned close. I am. He stepped back. She watched him. I'm the part you didn't want. He swallowed. I'm the part she kept. In the morning, he found her in the barn, sitting in the loft, singing under her breath. Same song. He climbed the ladder slowly. Why here? She liked the way it sounded. What? The echo. He sat across from her. You remember everything, don't you? Yes, but none of it's yours. It is now. He stared out over the fields. She miscarried once. The girl nodded. She didn't tell anybody. She told me. He looked at her. That ain't possible, isn't it? She never said a word. She didn't need to. He took a breath. She hummed for days after. I know. Wouldn't eat. I did. He looked down. God. She made the song when she stopped crying. She said she was just tired. She was. She said she'd be better after resting. She wasn't. He wiped his eyes. Have you ever seen her again? He asked. The girl tilted her head. She's not gone. He looked up. She's waiting for you to hear her. He closed his eyes. The girl hummed again. It wasn't sweet. It wasn't soft. It was honest. And he let it fill the space between them. The truck stopped. The engine clicked. He stepped out. The girl stayed inside. He shut the door behind him. Gravel shifted under his boots. The field looked the same. The trees. The wind. The stillness. But the well had changed. He moved toward it. Yesterday, the mouth had been open, half filled. With stones maybe. Loose, unsettled. Now it was tight, sealed, stone layered like it belonged there. Not fresh, not new, but old. Too old. He crouched, pressed his hand to the top. Cold. Not from the air. Cold from below. He pressed his ear down. Nothing. Then something. A breath. He stood. I looked back at the truck. She watched him through the glass. He turned to the well again. Knees hit dirt. He pried at a corner stone. It didn't budge. He grunted, leaned harder. It cracked, came loose. The hole beneath let out a sound like a sigh. He pulled another. And another. Dust lifted. He coughed. Then I froze. A whisper came from below. Not words, just tone. Software familiar. He dropped the stone in his hand. She stood behind him now. He didn't hear her walk up. You weren't supposed to fill it, she said. He kept pulling stones. You said it was dry, she added. It was. She tilted her head. You sure? I saw the bottom. She stepped closer. What was in it? Dirt, sand, bones, maybe. Her bones. He stopped moving. I didn't find her, he said, but you filled it anyway. He said nothing. She crouched beside him, placed her small hand on a stone. Have you ever thought about why it never stayed filled? It did. No. He looked at her. You filled it once, then again, then one more time. He shook his head. Yes, she whispered. You watched me? I heard it. He stared at the well. What's under there? He asked. She didn't answer. Tell me. I can't. Why? Because you already know. He stood up. I walked away. She didn't follow. He came back with tools. Crowbar, pick, rope. The sun was low now. The air is sharp. He knelt again, dug deeper. The stones were heavier now, laid harder, like they didn't want to move. One by one, he pried them. Every third breath, he stopped to listen. The whisper stayed. She sat on a log nearby, swinging her feet, silent. How long's it been sealed? A while. Since when? Since she sang her last song. He threw a rock. It clanged off the rim and vanished. Why would she seal it? She didn't. He looked at her. You did, she said. He shook his head. No. You buried her voice. No. You knew she was there. I didn't. You just didn't want to hear it. He slammed the crowbar down. Metal cracked stone. His hands shook. She stood. You can't dig her up if you won't say her name. He didn't speak. She walked to the edge, whispered into the hole. Come back. The wind stopped. He dug until dusk turned to dark. The girl lit the lantern, hold it steady above the rim. His shirt stuck to his back. Hands raw, fingernails split. The last stone gave way. Beneath it, dirt, red, wet, breathing. He leaned close. A pulse moved in the earth. He dropped the crowbar, stared. What is that? She knelt beside him. Memory, she said. That ain't normal. No. He touched the ground. It throbbed. He pulled his hand back. I buried this, he whispered. You tried. He looked at her. Why is it still here? You didn't finish. I filled this damn thing. You filled the hole, not what it held. He stood. Stop talking in riddles. She stood too. Stop lying. I didn't lie. You left her there. I couldn't find her. She waited. He turned away. She called out, She forgave you. He froze. She forgave you before the water dried. He turned back. How do you know that? I was there. You weren't born. No. He stepped forward. Then what are you? She looked at the earth. A song that wasn't finished. They didn't speak on the ride back. She sat still, barefoot, quiet. He gripped the wheel like it was the last thing keeping him in this world. Back at the house, she went straight to the porch swing. He went inside. I opened the closet, pulled out the tape recorder, set it on the table, pressed play. Her voice came again, his wife's, older now, cracked. If I'm gone, let the field speak. The girl stepped in. He looked up. She sang with the tape. Low. Keep my name where the silence leaks. He turned it off. Why'd she record this? The girl answered, So you'd come back. Come back where? To the well. She knew I wouldn't. She hoped you would. He pressed the button. Silence. Rewind. Click. Lay me down. He let it play through. She sat on the floor, hands folded. Still, that night, he dreamed of water. Not clear, not clean. Red, moving in circles. A hand reached through it, not grasping, just open. He woke up gasping. The girl stood in the doorway. You saw it? He nodded. She walked in, sat on the edge of the bed. She wanted you to know she stayed. He wiped his face. She didn't want you to be afraid. He looked at her. I wasn't afraid. Yes, you were. I didn't leave her. You didn't stay either. He sat up. She said one day you'd be ready. He looked at the wall. She said the well wouldn't open till you remembered her song. I remember it. Then it's time. He stood. She took his hand. They went back to the truck. This time he brought the shovel. The well waited. The air around it is still bone. He knelt. The girl beside him. She hummed. He dug. The dirt is easier now, softer, warmer. He hit something solid, not stone, wood, rotten. He brushed it clean. A box. No lock. He lifted the lid. Inside, a dress. Blue. Faded. He picked it up, pressed it to his face. It smelled like rain. At the bottom of the box, a small tape, labeled in his wife's handwriting. To him, he held it in his hand. I thought it was gone. She saved it, the girl said. He nodded. They stood. He looked at the well one more time, then turned away. Let's go home, he said. She smiled, and for the first time, her eyes looked like hers. The girl opened the drawer without asking. He stood in the doorway, watching. She didn't look at him, just reached in like she already knew the order of things, like the contents were hers. Don't go through her things. She held up a piece of fabric, torn, faded purple with a thread of green stitched crooked down the hem. She wore this when she left me. He blinked. That's not yours. It was hers. I know that. But she wore it when she walked away. That dress stayed in this house. No. He walked in slowly. You weren't there. She was crying. He stopped. You saw her cry? She said I'd understand later. He stepped forward. You saw her the day she left? She nodded. That's not possible. She sat on the bed with me. She didn't have... She braided my hair. He stared at the floor. That's not what happened. She turned to him. Isn't it? He took the dress from her. Hold it up. I remember this. She stitched that green thread herself. It tore when she climbed the fence. She didn't climb the fence. She ran. No. He looked at the drawer. It was half full. He thought it had been empty. I cleaned all this out, he said. You didn't. I burned her clothes. You missed this one. He set the dress on the bed. It folded like it still remembered her shape. He sat in the kitchen with his head in his hands. The girl sat across from him, silent. Have you ever lied? She shook her head. You sure? Yes. Then tell me who you are. I already did. He sighed. You don't believe me, she said. I don't believe this. She left me too. That's not true. She did. She left me. She left both of us. He looked up. You were never here. I was always here. He pushed his chair back. Stood. I need air. She followed. The barn was quiet, the swing still. The fields are dull with wind. He walked in circles. She leaned against the porch post. She wore that dress when she told me goodbye. Stop. She knelt by the well. He turned. Stop. She said not to cry. He pointed. You weren't born. I was held. She didn't carry to term. She carried me far enough. He stepped closer. Are you saying you're her child? She nodded. That can't be. Why? She didn't have one. She did. She lost it. She didn't. He stared. She kept it quiet. She kept me. She never told me. She wanted to. He stepped back. She wanted to, but you stopped asking. He turned away. That night, he went into the sewing room. The drawer was still open. The dress still folded. He sat on the floor. The light from the hallway caught the green thread just right. It wasn't factory-stitched. It was slow. Humans. Crooked. He ran his hand down the fabric. She used to hum when she stitched. The girl walked in. You remember? He nodded. She made that when she thought you might leave. I didn't leave. She wasn't sure. He touched them. She finished it after we fought. Yes. She stayed in this room that night. Yes. He looked up. She said she was tired of being quiet. The girl sat beside him. She said she was tired of not being heard. He rubbed his hands together. She never yelled. She didn't have to. She just folded, like paper. She was waiting. For what? For you to notice. He looked at the dress again. I kept this drawer locked. She never liked locks. In the morning, he made eggs. The girl sat barefoot in the corner. Why didn't she tell me? You weren't listening. I would have listened. Would you? He poured coffee. Black, bitter. I thought she was sick. She was. He turned. What kind? Lonely. He sat. She used to leave letters under your pillow, the girl said. I never found them. She stopped after 3. I didn't see any. She said you wouldn't. He looked at the wall. She said you loved her loud, but lived quietly. He closed his eyes. She loved you softly, the girl said. She did. But you didn't look soft. I thought I did. She leaned forward. She made you coffee every morning. You stopped saying thank you. I didn't notice. She noticed. He looked at her. What happened to her? She faded. Where? Into the song. He shook his head. It held her. How? She made it hold her. He stood outside the door to their bedroom. She hadn't slept there in her last weeks. Now the girl sat on the edge of the bed, holding the dress. You want to know why it tore? He nodded. She knelt in the field. There was a nail sticking from the gate. He leaned against the frame. She held me to her chest, said she was sorry. He watched her. She tried to sing, but her voice cracked. She was always singing. Not that day. He walked in, sat on the edge of the bed. I saw blood on the fence. She caught her arm. I thought she ran. She stayed by the well for hours. He turned to her. She whispered into it. The girl looked at him. She said your name. He breathed slowly. I didn't know. She thought you didn't care. I did. She couldn't feel it. He covered his face. They sat there quietly. The house didn't creak. The wind didn't move. She laid the dress in his lap. He held it tight. She made this for you, the girl said. I never wore it. You carry it. He nodded. I miss her. She misses you. He looked up. Is she gone? She's still singing. Where? She's in the drawer, in the field, in the well. He shut his eyes. She's waiting. For me. For the truth. He held the dress to his chest. The sheriff knocked once. Then I walked in. No one stopped him. No one dared. The house was too polished, too clean for the land it sat on. Curtains white, wood shiny, the kind of quiet that only came from money too old to explain. He found the boy in the back room. Slick hair, bare feet, whiskey in a crystal glass, laugh too sharp. Sheriff, the boy said without looking, ain't seen you since the funeral. The sheriff didn't sit. The boy poured another drink. That wasn't an invitation. The sheriff stared. You lost something again? The boy asked. A girl showed up at my well. Is that so? Singing. Plenty sing. Not like this. The boy took a sip. She sang her song. Whose? You know damn well. The boy smiled. You mean her lullaby? The sheriff didn't blink. That old thing. The boy chuckled. She used to hum it like it mattered. It did. Not to me. The sheriff stepped forward. The boy laughed. You gonna hit me? No. Shame. The sheriff dropped a tape on the table. The boy eyed it. Play it. I ain't interested. Play it. The boy sighed, leaned toward the recorder, hit play. The woman's voice came through. Software real. The boy's hand stopped mid-sip. The girl stepped into the room. The boy's eyes shifted. Who's she? She knows the song. The girl started humming, just under her breath. Clear. Exactly. The boy's lips parted. His drink shook. Turn that off, he said. She kept humming. The sheriff waited. The boy stood fast. I said, turn it off. The girl sang the first line. The boy grabbed the table. She wasn't supposed to know the song. The room fell still. The sheriff took a step forward. What does that mean? The boy shook his head. Say it again. She wasn't supposed to know it. The girl finished the verse. Quiet. Slow. The boy dropped into the chair. He whispered. She heard me. They sat across from him now. The boy poured another drink. I didn't drink it. I used to meet her, he said. When? Long before you noticed. You were just a boy. She wasn't. You were the governor's son. She liked me for it. The sheriff clenched his jaw. She never said your name. She didn't want to shame you. Did you love her? The boy laughed. I wanted to. Did she love you? No. The sheriff looked at the floor. She said she needed to feel something, the boy said. Said your house was cold. The girl sat still. She left you, the boy said. She disappeared. She tried to go clean. Clean from what? From me. The sheriff gripped the edge of the table. Did you hurt her? She came to me. Did you lay a hand on her? She begged me to stop. The sheriff stood. The boy flinched. She was pregnant, the sheriff said. The boy looked at the girl. She kept that from you too. She lost the child. Did she? The sheriff stepped closer. What did you do? She said the song would keep her safe. The girl looked up. She sang it to me. The boy froze. She said if I remembered, I'd know who hurt her. The boy looked sick. You remember? The sheriff asked. She nodded. The boy stood, knocked over the glass. She screamed, she said. He turned. She lied. She cried. He shouted, she sang it to you? She sang the chorus. He pressed his hands to his ears. She said you couldn't take her voice. The girl whispered. He dropped to his knees. She wasn't supposed to remember, he said. But she did, the sheriff said. The girl stared. She left me at the well, she said. The boy looked up. She was bleeding. The sheriff leaned down. What did you do? I left her there. Outside, the wind picked up. The sheriff leaned against the truck. The girl sat on the step. She was strong, the sheriff said. She didn't want to be alone. She wasn't. She never stopped singing, he nodded. She didn't tell you because she knew you'd hurt him. I still might. The girl looked up. That's not what she wanted. She deserved peace. Then give her silence. He lit a match. Hold it till it burns low. She wrote you a letter, the girl said. I never saw it. She hid it behind the drawer. He looked at her. She knew you'd come back once the song played again. He blew out the match. They rode home quietly. He opened the desk drawer, pulled it out, reached behind the wood, found paper, software folded twice, his name on it, her handwriting, unmistakable. He read it once, then again. He sat on the floor. The girl sat beside him. She said to keep the house warm. He nodded. She said not to fill the well again. I won't. She said one day you'd hear her. I do now. The girl stood. I walked to the door. Where are you going? She's waiting. Where? Where the song ends. He stood too. You don't have to go. She smiled. I already. Did he reach for her hand? She faded. The tape on the table clicked. Rewind. Play. Lay me down in winter wheat. He listened to every word. Then I played it again. He set the letter on the table and didn't open it. The handwriting was hers. He would have known it blind. Slanted right. Always too small. She used to say her words were never meant to take up space. The envelope was sealed. The girl stood in the doorway. Quiet. Where'd you find it? He asked. In her sewing box. I cleaned that out. No. He picked up the envelope again. I turned it over. To you, she'd written. No date. No return name. Just that. He cracked the seal. Pulled out the paper. Blank. He held it up to the light. I turned it in. Tilted it. Nothing. You sure this was hers? The girl nodded. He folded it. Unfolded it again. Still blank. What kind of joke is this? She didn't write in ink. He looked at her. What did she write in then? She just stared. The girl sat by the fire. The sheriff paced the room. She left me a blank sheet of paper. She wrote. With what? Something you can't see yet. He tossed the letter on the table. This ain't a riddle. She was scared. Of me? Number of not being heard. She could have told me. She did. He picked up the sheet again. There's nothing here. Wait. For what? For her voice. She's gone. No, she's not. He ran a hand down his face. Have you ever seen a ghost? He asked. She shook her head. Then what are you? She looked at the page. Something left behind. That night, he couldn't sleep. The wind moved slowly outside. The girl hummed on the porch swing. The page lay on the nightstand beside his bed. Still blank. He lit a match, hold it under the edge. Nothing. No words, no heat tricks, just paper. He set the match down, stared at the sheet. He whispered the first line of her song. Nothing happened. He whispered the second. The girl hummed louder outside. He looked toward the window. Keep going. By the fourth line, the paper twitched. He froze. A line, faint, appeared across the top. He brought it closer. One word. You. He whispered again. Two more words. Still listening. He stood up, took the letter to the hallway. The girl stopped humming. You see this? He asked. She nodded. You knew this would happen? She wrote with her voice. He looked at the page. Another line formed. I'm cold. He pressed his thumb to the words. They're real. She's real, the girl said. He set the letter on the kitchen table, lit another lamp. The girl stood behind him. He whispered more. Line by line, the ink rose. Faint, crooked, like it had been stitched into the paper, not written. I stayed as long as I could. I didn't know where to go. You stopped, singing. He paused. His throat was dry. He whispered again. So I gave the song to her. He looked at the girl. She looked down. I was wrong, he said. She forgave you. He kept whispering. If you're reading this, I'm still nearby. But you have to finish the tune. He stopped. That was the end. He stared at the last line. The girl placed a hand on his shoulder. Do you remember it? All of it. Then sing it. I can't. She said you'd say that. She was right. She said it's not about singing perfectly. I don't know how. You did once. He looked at her. She stepped back, hummed the melody, quiet, plain, just the bones. He followed, rough, uneven. Halfway through, his voice cracked. She kept humming. He pushed through. At the final word, the lamp flickered. The letter darkened. One last sentence bled through. Thank you. He sat on the porch with the girl. The night felt warmer. She wanted you to remember, the girl said. She wanted to be heard. She is now. He folded the letter, put it in his shirt pocket. You think that's it? She said you'd know when it's done. Does it feel done? She looked out at the dark. No. He nodded. She'd left more than one song. He leaned back, closed his eyes. Then we keep listening. She leaned against him. They sat in silence. The wind carried nothing, but something inside him started humming again. The window cracked. He didn't hear it. He smelled it first. Smoke. Then the light. Not sunrise. Too fast. Too orange. He ran out barefoot, shirt half buttoned. The barn was burning. Flames tore through the roof like they'd been waiting. The girl stood in the yard, still, not screaming, just watching. He grabbed the hose. It sputtered once, dry. He cursed. I looked around. Nothing to use. The blaze roared higher. Wood split. Sparks flew. The heat pushed him back. She still hadn't moved. Call the damn station, he shouted. No time, she said. You just gonna watch? She looked at him. I've seen it before. What? Fire like this. He stepped toward her. Who did it? She stared into the flames. The same men who filled the well. His breath caught. You saw them? No. Then how do you know? I remember. He walked fast to the truck, grabbed the radio. Dead. She followed him back inside. They sat in the kitchen. The barn glowed through the window, cracking, groaning, dying. He poured coffee but didn't drink. She laid her hands flat on the table. You knew this was coming? He asked. Yes. You saw it? No. But you weren't surprised? No. Why? They always come back. Who? The ones who make silence. He rubbed his face. You speak in riddles. She didn't answer. You saw them. Fill the well. I heard them. You remember? Yes. He stared at her. How old are you? I don't know. You said they filled it. They buried her voice. He stood. Names. She looked up. You want names? She asked. Yes. Then you have to dig again. They walked out after dawn. The barn was ash. Embers still whispered along the beams. He stepped over what was left, boots crunching charcoal. The saddle rack was gone. The tools melted, the wood black. She knelt, pressed her fingers to the ground. This was the second time, she said. Second? They burned it before. When? After she disappeared. No one said anything. They didn't want you to know. Who? The ones she told. He crouched beside her. You remember this? I was in the loft. He looked at her. You were never born. I was never held. He stood. That doesn't make sense. She hid me. He walked through the wreckage. She came here to sing. The girl said. He turned. When? After the governor's boy. His mouth tightened. She stitched her last verse here. He looked at the beam that still stood. There was something nailed into it. Charred fabric. He walked to it. I pulled it free. It was a torn dress. The one from the drawer. He held it. She brought this here. She wore it the day they came. Who? They didn't knock. He looked at the girl. They told her to stop, she said. Stop what? Talking, singing, remembering. He touched the edge of the cloth. She didn't. She paid for that. He stepped out into the field. The wind had picked up. Dust rolled low along the dirt. He spoke without turning. You think they'll come again? She nodded. They saw the fire too, she said. That evening, he called the station. They didn't pick up. He drove into town. No one looked him in the eye. At the diner, the cook said nothing. The waitress poured his coffee without a word. The mayor wasn't home. The courthouse was locked. On the way back, he passed the governor's house. Dark, curtains drawn. He pulled over, got out. I walked the fence. A car idled behind the barn. Quiet, no lights. He stepped closer. It drove off before he reached it. He watched it disappear down the gravel road. Didn't chase it. I didn't need to. Back home, she waited on the porch. You see them? He nodded. They're scared. Of what? What you found. He sat beside her. They think I know. They think she told you. She did. The girl looked out across the field. She told me too. He leaned forward, hands clasped. She says names. No. Does she leave anything? She left the song. That's not enough. She left blood. He looked at her. She left it in the soil, the girl said. She left it in the barn. He stood. He walked back to the ashes. She followed. At the edge of the ruin, she pointed. There. He brushed soot away. Metal. Burned. A belt buckle. He lifted it. The sheriff's badge melted into the leather. Not his. He turned it over. Engraved initials. J.C. His breath caught. That's County Deputy Jacob Kane. The girl nodded. She trusted him. She told him. He was there that night? Yes. She thought he'd help. He didn't. He closed his hand around the buckle. She knew they'd cover it up. They did. He looked back at the field. They burned it all, he said. She left proof anyway. That night, he cleaned the buckle, set it on the mantel. He lit a fire on the stove, warmed the room. The girl sat beside the hearth. You remember everything, he said. Only what she sang. He nodded. She sang about the barn? She sang about fear. He poured a drink, sat at the table. She wanted me to find them. She wanted peace. He looked at the flame. I'll give her both. She hummed low, barely there. He closed his eyes, listened, and in the hum, he heard names. Not whispered, not sung, just waiting. The sheriff parked by the rusted gate and walked the rest of the way in. The ground had always been uneven out here, roots pushing through like bones trying to surface. He carried no flowers, just a shovel, just his breath. The girl followed behind, barefoot, silent. He stepped between graves, names he knew, names he buried. His father, his mother, a brother no one talked about, then hers. He stopped. The headstone had cracked clean down the center, like it split under its own name. He crouched, ran his fingers down the line. This wasn't like this. No, the girl said. He brushed away the moss. The date was still there. The lie is still etched. She's not in there. No. She never was. No. He looked behind him. 3 plots down, the dirt had shifted. The mounds weren't flat. He walked over. Who's buried here? She asked. He pointed. 2 were stillborn. 1 was my uncle. She knelt by the last one, pressed her hand to the soil. This one's hollow. He crouched beside her. Was someone moved? No. He dug his fingers in, pulled back, red earth. Nothing. No bones. No cloth. Just packed dirt and a sound. Low, like a hum. He leaned close. She sang here too. The girl whispered. Why? She said no one would find her otherwise. They walked back to the cracked stone. He stared at it. This grave's fake. It's a mark. For who? For those who were meant to forget. He picked up the shovel. Don't. Why not? She's not beneath it. Then where is she? The girl didn't speak. He drove the blade into the ground. The earth gave way. He dug slowly, careful. The soil held no smell, no rot, no life. He hit a stone, not a coffin, just flat rock. He wiped it clean. A carving, small. 3 notes, music, not letters. He traced them. A melody. He stood. She put her song here. Yes. She left nothing else. She left this. He looked out across the rows. How long have you known? Since the wind shifted. That's not an answer. It's the only one. He sat on the stone. She had nowhere else to go. She chose this. Why? So you'd come. He looked down at the notes. They mean something? They're the last part. To the song. She nodded. He copied the notes onto his palm. 3 short lines. Then silence. They walked home without a word. The girl held the cracked headstone in her lap the whole way. He didn't ask how she lifted it, didn't ask why she wouldn't let it go. That night, he set the stone on the table. It leaned against the lamp like it belonged there. The melody faced him. He whistled it once. Wrong. Again. Still wrong. The girl sat by the fire, watching. You're not listening, she said. I'm trying. She wrote it to be heard, not played. He closed his eyes, hummed it instead. Software simple. The notes formed clean. She smiled. That's it. He opened his eyes. The stone was warm. He picked it up. The surface had changed. Words etched beneath the music. She's not gone. She's just elsewhere. He looked at the girl. Is she waiting again? She's watching. For what? For you to finish what she started. In the morning, he returned to the plot. No one followed. The ground was still torn. He placed the stone back where the marker was. Not buried, just resting. He stood for a long time, then pulled a small tape recorder from his coat, pressed record, sang the song once through. No music, just his voice. When it ended, he pressed stop, set the recorder on the grave, left it playing in silence. Then I walked away. He didn't look back. He didn't have to. She was already listening. He hadn't seen the midwife in 7 years. She didn't open the door when he knocked, just called out, "Come in, Sheriff." The kettle's still warm. He stepped into the house slowly. Same wood stove, same quilts draped over chairs like people long dead still needed warmth. She sat in the corner, bent over thread, didn't look up. You knew I'd come? He asked. Been waiting 2 winters too long. He took his hat off, held it to his chest. Something happened? She asked. The barn burned. About time. He sat. You always speak that plain. Only when it matters. He watched her needle move. You still stitch? Every night. Why? Names don't last. Unless you sew them. He leaned forward. I need to know what she told you. The midwife paused. Which one is she? He stared at the quilt. She nodded. She walked to the back room, returned with a folded blanket, held it like it was alive, laid it across the table. Have you ever seen this? He shook his head. She pointed. Threaded names. Faint. Hand-stitched. His wife was there. Clear. Next to it, a child's. The date below, 1 week after she vanished. His chest locked. You did this. I only stitch what I'm told. She came to you. She was bleeding. He looked away. She said no hospital. She said no one would believe it. He touched the fabric. Whose name is that? Yours. Number the other one. The old woman stared at him. She was yours. He sat back, shaking. She lost the child. No. She never showed. She hid it. He gripped the edge of the table. Why? You were fading. He stood. That ain't fair. She didn't blame you. She should have. She just wanted to be heard. He looked down at the stitching. The child's name. 3 letters. L-I-A. He ran his finger over it. She gave her a name. She gave her everything. He turned to the window. Why didn't you tell me? She asked me not to. You still listen to ghosts? She's louder than most. He carried the quilt to the porch. The girl sat on the step. He laid it in her lap. She didn't blink. She called me Leah, she whispered. He nodded. That's your name. She touched the thread. She stitched it herself. She wanted you remembered. She said you'd come late, But you'd come. She knew I'd fail her. No. He sat beside her. She waited under the song, the girl said. He closed his eyes. I wasn't ready, he whispered. She forgave that. They sat there until the wind came. Warm. Software. He didn't move, and for once neither did the past. He didn't pack. He just took off the badge, set it on the table, didn't clean it first. It didn't shine, didn't even look at it long. The girl sat by the window watching him. That's it? She asked. That's it? You're not going to say goodbye? No one's left to hear it. She stood. I walked over, picked up the badge. Feels heavy. It is. She turned it over in her hand. Do they give these to anyone? They used to mean something. You want it back? No. She set it down again. You ready? No. Still going? Yes. He picked up his coat, opened the door. She followed. They walked all morning. No truck, no horses, just dirt and wind. He didn't speak. She didn't hum. The well waited, quiet, like it knew they were coming. The stones were scattered from the last time he opened it. The rope was gone. The hole was there. Still. She stepped to the edge. He hung back. You ever gonna tell me what's down there? She crouched. Do you trust me? No. She smiled. Good. He moved closer. What are you gonna do? Show you something. He looked into the well. Nothing but dark. You're not climbing in there. I'm not climbing. She sat, slid her feet forward, hands on the rim. You fall. I can't pull you back. I won't fall. He reached for her arm. She slipped out of reach, then dropped. No scream, no thud, just gone. He froze. Leah? Silence. Leah. He leaned over. Empty. He waited. Minutes passed. Nothing. He walked in circles, checked the field, yelled her name again. Still nothing. He dropped to his knees. I looked down the hole. A hum rose. Software familiar. He pressed his ear to the rim. It was her voice. Then another, layered, like singing through time. He leaned in deeper. The hum wrapped around him. His hand gripped the stone. He felt heat, like breath. She was calling him, not with words, with sound, with memory, with home. He stood. I walked back 5 paces. I looked at the well, took off his coat, dropped it, then stepped forward, swung his legs over, hold the rim, lowered himself slowly. The stone scraped his palms. Below was nothing. Then less. Then a whisper. Then her hand, warm, pulled him under. They didn't fall. They floated. Through pitch, through hush, through the song she left behind. He opened his eyes. Light moved around him. Not flame, not sun, just glow. Leah stood on the other side. Whole. Still. Where are we? He asked. Where she waited. He looked down. The stone floor rippled. Is this real? She said it would be. He stepped forward. Where is she? She's listening. To what? To what you'll say. He swallowed. I was wrong. Leah nodded. I didn't protect her. She knew. I should have stopped them. She never blamed you. He looked at her. She wanted you to see this. He turned. The wall lit up. A dress hung on a nail. The torn one. Whole again. Beside it, a name stitched. Leah. He touched it. She saved this? She stitched it here. He looked at her. This place. What is it? It's where songs stay. He backed away. I don't belong here. She nodded. Not yet. Can I take her out? No. Can I speak to her? She already heard you. He stepped closer. Can she hear me now? Yes. He looked up. I miss you. The wall pulsed. The song swelled, then faded. He closed his eyes. She was in silence, and he could finally feel her holding it. The stone under his feet wasn't wet, but it remembered water. The cavern was wide, too wide to be under a well, too smooth to be natural. The walls curved like ribs. The air didn't move. The light didn't flicker, but it wasn't dark. Leah stood ahead, waiting. He stepped forward. His boots made no sound. Where are we? He asked. Where she sang. He turned slow. The space breathed, not in wind, but in weight. Is this real? Yes. Alive? Yes. She touched the wall. It rippled like skin underwater. He stepped closer. The hum started again, faint. All around, women's voices, low, woven. Who's singing? All of them. He moved in with her, deeper. The walls held shadows, not people, choices. He saw her first, his wife, sewing in the barn, looking over her shoulder like someone might knock. Next, her standing at the gate, holding a small bundle wrapped in linen. He stopped walking. "What is this?" he asked. "Memory." He saw her walking to the courthouse door, turning back, saw her enter the governor's barn, alone. He gritted his teeth. "Why do I have to see this?" "Because you didn't." She turned a corner. He followed. They entered a chamber, smaller, round. In the center, water. Still. Black. A single chair beside it. She sat. This is where she waited. He crouched beside her. "She died here?" "No." "Then where?" "She ended here." He stared into the pool. No reflection, only the hum. He looked back at the wall. New shapes moved. His house, his table, him turning away, her holding her stomach, whispering, then silence. "Stop it," he said. "It's not mine to stop." She tried to tell me. "She did tell you." "I didn't hear." "She left you the song." He bowed his head. "She carried me," Leah whispered. "I know." "She named me." "I saw it." "She came down here when they told her to disappear." His hands curled into fists. "She didn't beg." "I know." "She sang instead." He stood. The chamber held still. He walked the rim of the pool. "Where are they now?" he asked. "The men." "Yes." "Still here." "In the town?" "In the quiet." He looked up. "Why didn't you stop them?" "I couldn't." "You're not just a girl." "No." "You remember too much." "Yes." "You carry too much." "Yes." He turned back to the water. "I want them to pay." She didn't. "I'm not her." "She knows." He stared into the pool. A new vision rose, her hand on his badge. Her mouth is not moving, but her voice is still there. "Forgive what I couldn't speak." He stepped back. "She's asking too much." "She's asking what you never gave." He sat and listened. The song rose louder, no lyrics, no rhythm, just presence, like warmth before fire. He saw them again. Men at the well, shovels, smoke, Deputy Kane, the governor's boy, and one more, the mayor, holding the tape recorder, smiling. They laughed while she screamed. He closed his eyes. "She gave them names," Leah said. "I have them now." "She left them to you." He opened his eyes. "She believed you'd come back different." "I did." "She believed you'd see." "I do." "She believed you'd speak." "I will." He stood. She looked up at him. "There's more." "Where?" She pointed at the water. "Step in." He hesitated. The surface didn't move. He removed his boots, lowered one foot. It didn't sink. He stepped fully in. The pool glowed. Voices rose, not loud, just near. He knelt, submerged his hands, pulled something up, a spool of thread, red. He held it out. Leah nodded. "She wants you to finish it." He turned it in his palm. "What do I sew?" She touched her chest. "What's left?" He looked down at the thread, then back at her. "Can I go now?" She smiled. "You were never stuck." He stepped back. The song dimmed. The light bent. The cave began to fold. He looked at her one last time. She was fading. "Will I see you again?" "I'll be wherever you hum." He shut his eyes and rose. He woke up on the ground beside the well. It was dusk. The shovel still leaned against the stone. The barn is still gone. The house is still there. But something in the world had turned. He stood, held the thread in his hand, and listened. The wind didn't carry sound, but he felt her. He heard her. The song was beneath everything now, and it was his to finish. She was sitting in the water, not drowning, not hiding, just sitting. Her dress floated around her like it was stitched from the dark itself. Her hands rested in her lap. Her face turned toward him slowly like it hadn't moved in years. He froze at the edge of the pool. She looked older, not in age, in silence. Leah stood beside her. Neither one spoke. He stepped in. The water didn't rise, didn't ripple. He moved until he was close enough to kneel. She didn't smile. He didn't speak. Then she reached out and touched Leah's face. The child leaned into it like she'd never forgotten the warmth. "I sang to bring her back," his wife said. He nodded. "You weren't listening." "I am now." She looked at him. "I didn't disappear." "I thought you died." I tried, but you didn't. No. He closed his eyes. I buried you in every place I could. She nodded. I know. I told people you ran. They wanted to believe it. I burned the barn. You left me inside it. I didn't know. You didn't want to. He looked down. I failed you. No. I failed her. You didn't. She remembered your voice before she remembered her name. She remembered because I sang in the dark. He looked at the girl. She came to me. She came to finish the part I couldn't. She carried your song. His wife nodded. She carried it better than either of us. He sat in the water. The walls didn't echo. They held. You were always quiet, she said. I thought it was strength. It wasn't. I thought you wanted peace. I wanted you to ask. I didn't know how. You never tried. He swallowed. I kept the house clean, she said. I know. I stitched until my fingers bled. I saw. You didn't speak. I was afraid. Of what? Seeing you leave while standing right in front of me. She nodded. I left anyway. He looked at Leah. She waited by the gate, the girl said. I never saw her. You were inside. He rubbed his palms. She didn't knock. She didn't want to disturb you. He turned to his wife. I would have opened the door. You didn't hear her. I would have come. You were asleep. The pool dimmed. The walls faded. Only the three of them remained. What is this place? He asked. Where we remember, she said. Is it death? It's what stays after. He looked at Leah. She's not a ghost. She's your child. She's more than that. She's the part I sang into the dark. He stood. She brought me back here. She brought you down, not back. I followed her voice. You followed your guilt. He nodded. Do you hate me? No. I would. I couldn't. Why not? You gave me the song. He stepped closer. I want to fix it. You can't. I want to try. Then speak. He faced them. I should have protected you. You couldn't. I should have heard you. You didn't want to. I see you now. Do you? He looked at Leah. She hums the way you did. She remembers how it felt. She knows everything. She's everything I left behind. He took her hand. It was warm. Not alive, but not lost. Will you come with me? She shook her head. I stayed. I know. I can't walk the same world anymore. You're not gone. I'm not whole either. He stepped back. She's yours now. I don't deserve her. She doesn't need you to. He looked at the child. She has your eyes. She has your silence. The room began to shrink. The water faded. The walls bent. He reached out once more. His hand passed through her. She smiled. You were late. I know. But you came. He nodded. She touched her lips. One last hum. One last word. Go. He woke up in the field. Leah beside him. Sunlight rising behind the hills. She sat with the quilt over her knees. He sat up. You saw her? Yes. She spoke to me. I heard. He held the thread in his palm. What do I do now? Whatever comes next. He looked at the well, then at her. You coming? She nodded. They walked home slowly. The house still stood. The badge is still on the table. The tape is still spinning. He placed the thread beside it, and for the first time in years, he spoke her name, aloud, clear, like a song that never stopped.